Hey, 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 what is up? What's happening? Super excited for this. If you struggle with locating people to talk to, or you think it's difficult to send a lot of messages every day, then this show is for you because we're going to share with you how one gentleman locates and messages 85 people per day. Is that bananas and pajamas? We're going to share with you the methods he used to get over 1,500 customers. How crazy is that? And so I am super excited for this. This is going to be amazing. Now, before we bring this young man out here, I just want to share with you before we get started, if you don't have a ticket yet, I would grab your ticket to Rankmakers Live, rankmakerslive.com. If you want your team to step it up and start prospecting more people, rocking more numbers, crushing it, I would tell them rankmakerslive.com. I would tell them to get a ticket. And I just want to give you a heads up. Friday, the ticket price goes up. So if you want the best deal, I would grab it soonsies at rankmakerslive.com. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring out my good buddy, Forrest Knight. Forrest, how are you, sir?
I am Tuesday-rific.
Yes, I like it. I like it.
Absolutely.
So this is fun because I know that correct me if I'm wrong. I know that you've learned a lot through Rank Makers and then Inner Circle, right? Inner Circle was kind of where you took off. Am I right in that? Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a program called the 100K Inner Circle. Forrest was in Rank Makers, decided to get a coach in the Inner Circle, and that's really when I started knowing more about you and started seeing that you were crushing it. So first let's just tackle that. How did that help you? Like why was that the kind of thing that got you going?
Well, and here's what's and I knew you were going to ask me this question, so I've been thinking about how to answer it. One of the things is I just made a decision. I knew that over the last literally 29 plus years, been multiple businesses, they would sort of start and then just plateau and then die, start, plateau and die. And I was just like, you know what? I've got to figure out there's something different. And I've been following you, been doing the Rank Makers thing. And I decided I wanted to go to this, drug my wife along, who was like, I'm not going to go to one of those raw things. And lo and behold, she enjoyed it. And it was
you're referring to the event last year.
Yeah, Rank Makers Live last year, yes.
Okay.
So we went to Rank Makers Live last year. Sat there, absolutely just awesome event. There was just too much value. Had a super VIP ticket, so we were able to get into all the extra stuff, which is cool. But the decision to go, I wasn't expecting that, enrolling in coaching, because I was sort of reluctant. I was sitting there, we were listening, and you did the invite to get into the coaching program, and my wife asked the question. It was more like a question statement, like, we're doing coaching, right? And I was like, okay. So enrolled in coaching. Awesome. I had no idea. Got hooked up with an awesome coach, Elsa, and just with a few minor tweaks, I put it out into the universe. Hey, I want my business to explode. And she said, okay. And it was just a few minor tweaks of showing up, and I just made a super decision. I was going to be stupid, ridiculously coachable. And if she said jump, I'm like, I'm going to jump and see how high I can go. And that was the goal there. And then of course there's a lot of other things that I tweaked in between now and then, but that was sort of the starting point to the explosion.
That's awesome. So what's fun about this interview is I have, people give me feedback all the time of, one, you should be building relationships, not focused on numbers. Two, cold messaging doesn't work. Three, like I get these all the time. So I'm going to hit you with all these. All right. And so tell us, how the heck do you message 85 people a day? Like how do you find them? Let's talk about that. How do you find, who to message? Is it a phone book? You just go through the phone book, or what do you do?
That's an idea. They're there. So two methods I use. One is Coach Kaylee actually teaches this in Inner Circle, but she teaches how to prospect on pages. So, and I know somewhere in the Inner Circle, it's all in my brain somewhere. I know Coach Elsa talks about your circle of five, the 5 things that you like to do, as I call it. So I go find those. I'm a cyclist. I love to ride. I love entrepreneurship. So I go find people that hang out where I like to hang out at, and I'll open up a page. And I like to use the example of Coach Purses, for example. If you're into Coach Purses, you're a purses person and you love purses, go to Facebook, go to the Coach Purses page, find a post that has a ton of comments and likes, and there's your people. They're just hanging out there going, hey, I like Coach Purses. Send them a message, personalize a little bit. Hey, I know we don't know each other. I see you're into Coach Purses like I am. I'm expanding my business in Dallas. Curious if you might be able to take a look at what I'm doing. That's it. And do that over and 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 over, and block that off. So that's basically how I find people.
So how many months per person do you spend building rapport?
How many months?
It's kind of a joke, but okay, let's ask it. How long do you spend building rapport with each individual?
0. I use the whole, and I liked it, and I picked this up from Kaylee teaching this. It's called micro rapport building. The whole point of going to Coach Purses is to throw in that little bitty micro rapport build. And hey, we both like Coach Purses. That sometimes, has a conversation. We'll get to talking about bicycling. It's all over. The rapport is instantly, hey, what kind of bike you have, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I thought we were talking about business. I mean, it's a build rapport on the fly once you start having the conversation with them. It's, going in the direction, what can I do for you? What are you doing? I might take a look at their profile and say, hey, it looks like you have kids, you like dogs, you like horses. But I do that once they respond back, then I'll start having a conversation and building rapport then, but not beforehand.
Right. And I mean, I agree 100% with this. And it's funny because, I mean, literally every day I'll have someone say cold messages doesn't work, and you should be building rapport and relationships, and I'm just like, hey, you can do that, but I prefer to get to the point, and so do most people. Actually, it's simpler, and then if you want to build rapport afterwards. And what's funny is I mean there's hardly ever a day goes by that we don't see one of our rank makers or clients creating results that they've never been able to before. Shout out to Jennifer, one of our TEC members, who hit 100% through cold messaging a $250,000 bonus in her company. Now, results may vary, right? I'm not saying everyone can hit that, but she's like, I just don't know if I can do it. I'm like, why don't you just do it? Why don't you just go for it? And she just ran for it, and she hit it. She killed it. And so let me ask you this question, because a lot of people, they just are anti cold message. And for me, I'm not saying it's the only way, but it's a great way for you to hit bigger numbers. And it's a great way for people that aren't influencers, that don't have a following or a good warm market. You said you have, since Rank Makers Live, you've added 1,500 customers, or since when?
Just basically since Rank Makers Live.
Okay.
Celebrated
a little bit less than a year, you've added 1,500.
I actually hit 1,500 today.
Today. Okay, so a little bit less than a year, you hit 1,500 customers. Out of those 1,500, now I don't know the answer, I'm just asking, how many of them were just cold messages?
Other than, I might have 25 that are actually people I know. Like relatives, friends, coworkers. 25, maybe 50 would be a stretch. But everybody else, the other 1,400-ish, are all straight cold market, never met before in my life people.
So I just want to point this out. How many of you don't know many people, but have a social media connection? I mean, you're talking 1,450 new customers, paying customers that Forrest has gotten in the last year, did not know him before. Like, to me, and I don't know why trainers fight me so much on this. I don't know why they bash, this method so much, because anyone can do that. Now, if you said, you know what, Ray, I'm the mayor of my town, and 1,430 of them were friends of mine, I'd say, okay, well, good for you. Congratulations. That's amazing. Not very duplicatable. That would be my response. But you just said out of 1,500, around 1,450, conservatively, people you had never met, didn't know, you cold message. Now, I'm just curious, is this blowing anyone's mind? Look, I got it. Oh, I love it. Cold messages, not good. Let me, I just want to highlight this. Cold messages, not good, right? She's joking. But that's what I hear all day long. I'm just like, if I had never witnessed anyone get results, then I'd be like, oh, maybe they're right. I don't know. But Forrest, man, you come in here, you just kill it. And so, all right. So are you saying that out of 80, now, first of all, and we teach this, that you got to kind of build the muscle to get up to 85 messages. How did you build the muscle to get to 85? Because I guarantee you 99% of the people on here, if they send 89 messages today, they're going to be in Facebook jail. Like Zuckerberg comes and he puts the hand locks on you, takes you away, man. And so how'd you build the muscle to be able to message that many people a day?
The muscle comes from three places. One is, this is the relationship part. Doing Facebook Lives, that's part of the muscle of getting out there, so Facebook sees that you're like a real person. You're not just some fake spammy bot site that's out there. So doing Facebook Lives, having normal conversations with people on Facebook, so friends, relatives, kids, pictures, normal engagement stuff, normal social media stuff is very, very important that you do that on a daily basis. Birthday messages, anniversary messages, love your cute kid picture messages. However you want to work that into your daily routine. I do a 10, 10, and 10 on a regular basis. Sometimes I do more. Sometimes I just go through all my messengers with a little green dot and say, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? What's going on? How's it been? It's been a long time. And I may go open up their profile and click on it, look at something and comment that way. It's just about having that continuous relationship. So that's the first muscle. You've got to be active on your profile. It's like drinking the water before you exercise, right? You got to be active on your profile. Then you've got to just pick a number. And I love the analogy of building the muscle. Just this last 15 day, matter of fact, today is day 15 of it. We did a 200 a day prospecting blitz challenge with me and just some of the people that I said anybody can play. And the whole point of that for me was to see how I could bump my average of what I could actually fit in around my crazy 65-hour work week to see what my average is. And I bumped it to 126. So it's really
now when you I just want to clarify, when you say 65-hour work week, so are you saying that you work your business, your network marketing business, 65 hours a week? Is that what you're saying?
No, my job.
I just want people to understand that, because I think people will say, oh, yeah, he works 65 hours a week. That's why, yeah, sure, if I had 65 hours a week. How many hours a week do you work your network marketing business?
Anytime that I'm not sleeping and not at work.
What would be your guess?
Let's see.
How many hours a day?
3 hours Monday, maybe, if I can get in that many, because we do a lot of team training stuff. But actually prospecting, Thursdays are my big day because that's my day off. So I spend a lot of time there. I probably put a solid 7 hours in on a Thursday, and the rest of the week is 30 minutes here, maybe an hour there, 15 minutes here. But it's Thursdays are my big prospecting day. And then the rest of the week, I sort of follow up and squeeze in wherever I can, just based on what kind of time I have with what's going on through the week. So I want to make sure everyone is aware of this, right? Because what you're doing for us is you're ticking off excuses. I can't locate anyone. Here's where I find people. Okay. I can't send that many messages, and you're telling how to build up the muscle. Well, I got a full-time job. So do you. So you're knocking out these excuses that people love to hold on to. And so go back into building the muscle. So you got a 65-hour a week job, still working your network marketing business. How do you build up that muscle? You're talking about the 200 messages challenge. So the 200 messages challenge we got in, and I set those goals to see how much I can push. And like you talked about yesterday, being unreasonable. How unreasonable can I get with my day to what I want to cut out? Like I don't know, canceling Netflix, for example. What do I need to do to build a muscle so that I can actually work around and set that time? Do I need just 15 more minutes? Sometimes 15 minutes can make a huge impact on how many people it can reach out to or how many people it can follow up with. So depending on what your life is, when people say, what's my DMO, it's completely irrelevant to what yours is because you don't have my life. I don't have kids, I have a dog and a wife, right? But I also have a crazy job. So
Right.
It's picking those numbers. If you're at 20 right now, one of the things I really like to do is do a 20% challenge over 70 days. So if you're doing 20, do 20, then times 20%, do 20% more tomorrow, 20% of that number the next day, and do that for 7 days.
Like 20, then it would be 24, then it would be, right? Okay.
Right. And rank that up to where you're at the end of the week. You can find out what your sweet spot is in that number, and then go back and figure out how to work your follow-ups in behind that and just work on that muscle. It really is like literally building muscles and going to the gym. You've got to figure out how to set that in around your schedule. And of course, if life happens, your refrigerator breaks, your washer goes out, then, that's a whole nother, that's just life. So your world's not going to come to an end because you don't prospect 30 people in one day. So it's just that too is a mindset thing. Like, oh my God, I didn't reach out to 800 people today. I'll reach out to 5.
Right.
Do something every day.
Right. So 2 questions that come up, and I know my responses to this, but I'd love your responses. Are your cold messages voicemails or written?
Text messages, yeah.
See, I never want to assume, like when I see a voice message, you probably know my answer to this. When I see a voice message from someone I don't know, I literally hate their guts because I can read 50 messages in the same time as the dumb 57-second, hey, how are you today? I'm just, get to the point, man, I'm busy. And so I hate, from non-clients and people I don't know, hate voice messages with a passion. Now, the only time you shouldn't is if that's how they're communicating with you, then fine. If they're sending you a voicemail, maybe they prefer it for some very odd reason, but go for it. Second question that she's pretty intense. And again, I know my answer, but Stacy is asking, how do you get, because I assume you're not friends with some of these couch purse people, how do you get them to see your cold messages?
Great question. That was somewhere it was coming up. I'm glad you brought it up so I wouldn't forget. So 2 things in doing this. You can do this either way. I like the way Kaylee teaches. So you pick out your number, you open your tabs. If you haven't done that training, it's a whole nother training. But you go out there and you message. Let's say you picked out a post on specialized bicycles pages. And you grab the page, you go out there and you shoot out the messages, all the people, and they're in their inbox. So once you've sent those messages, 20 messages, 30 messages, whatever it is that you're doing at that time, go back and do 2 things. Go back to the message that they're on and make some type of comment on the post. Like, hey, really cool. Yeah, I agree. I can't wait to get the bicycle. I can't wait to get the S-Works. What color are you getting? I don't know. Hey, P.S. I sent you a message to your inbox. That's one way. The other way is to go to their profile and scope it out and find a really cool post on their profile and make a genuine comment on that profile. Now, I do it a little bit crazy. I go through all of my messages first, and then I go back and do that so I don't interrupt. It's just the way my brain works. So I'm just sort of top to bottom, left to right. So I do all my messages, and then I'll work my way back through.
That makes so much sense, because how easy is it to get distracted? Like you go and check someone's profile and you're like, oh, a cat video. Oh, wow. It's so good. Oh my God, it's juggling. And so, but you're like, I got my messages out of the way. I've hit my numbers. Now, even if I do get a little distracted, it's not that big a deal.
And the cool thing about that too, is when I do go back through them, sometimes I see somebody like, I really want to get to know this person. Like they got a cool profile. They've got some really cool stuff going on. So I'll set them up and I actually take them and I drag them. This is a whole nother training, but I'll take them and drag them to my I want to be friends tab on my Google Docs sheet. I don't friend them at that time because I just sent them a message. So I don't want to seem creepy, but I sort of stalk them and comment and come back later and say, oh, then I send them a friend request, maybe, 2 weeks down the road, because I think they're cool and they actually have something I think I would like to have a relationship with, more than just, prospecting and bringing them into a business. I've done that. I've got a couple of people that have really good relationships now that watch me and say, hey man, I saw your video, really cool training. They're not my business yet, but they're coming.
Right. And that's such an important distinction is when you build rapport, tiptoe through the tulips, play footsies with them, then pitch them, I think it's much less likely that you'll actually retain rapport with them. I think they'll be like, oh, they were just building rapport to pitch me. But there were so many people that I recruited that I was just direct with. Hey, you open and take a look at what I got? If not, no big deal. They said no, but I'm like, cool, no problem. Hey, how long you lived in Cleveland? And we just stayed in contact. Or do you go mountain biking? Whatever. We stayed in contact. They started seeing more of my stuff and eventually jumped on. So Forrest, we're trying to find the holes, my man. We're trying to find the holes in your game. So are you saying that your daily message are not new people, but follow up? Did we just bust you or what?
So messaging. So you trended right into the next deal. So, and I'll take this right from your coaching, is the Grant Cardone, 2% of his salespeople get a sale on the first call. So in messaging and reaching out, there's a couple of different ways I thought, and I really like this. I forgot who taught this, but one of the things I can do is if I know that they saw my message, but they didn't reply to it, this is freaking fire. I learned this technique. I don't remember who taught it, but go back in and said, hey, Ray, I see that you saw my message, but you're probably too busy to answer back just like I am. Curious if you'd be open to taking a look at what I'm doing, and just leave it sit in their inbox. And a lot of times they'll be like, oh, that is a real person. It's not a spam bot. There's really somebody out there. And then they'll reply back. But that's a strategy of cold market follow-up to somebody that hasn't quite replied back. You're sort of knocking on their door again. So yeah, I do that, but I don't do it to everybody. I just look at the people who actually, I'll go through and maybe go back 2 weeks and see who actually saw my message. Then I'll reply back to them and try to see if they can get them to reply back then.
But when you say, for example, 89 messages, is that 40 new people that you've never contacted before and 49 follow-ups, or is that 89 new people and then you also do follow-up?
Oh, that's 80 new ones, and then I do follow-up.
That's what I figured. Yeah. So when we say 89, that's 89 new human beings that he's reaching out to. Then he goes back through his funnel and sees, who do I need to follow up with, and ding. So, just so you're aware. So here's what I would like to do if you're game for it, and this will be a surprise attack because I didn't prepare you for this. So Forrest, you work with us in the inner circle. Would you be game to do an end? Because I just think anyone, regardless of influence, regardless of high school degree, college degree, regardless of time, regardless of technical expertise, anyone can do what you're doing. I really believe that. You're not, amazing doctor with a huge amount of followers and things like that. Like you're reaching out to people that don't know you. You've gotten 1,450 new customers from cold messages over this last year, and you're rocking it out. And I really believe what you do, anybody could do. And so would you be game for our Rank Makers Live ticket holders to do a training where you actually show your screen? And so that I know that you've really laid it out what you do, but would you be game to like show your screen and say, okay, gang, and just maybe not even to interrupt your day, but just like, I don't know, zoom your screen or something and show, okay, I'm going to hit my 89. Away we go. And just so people can see exactly what you're doing, what notes you're taking and everything. Would you be game to do that for ticket holders?
Absolutely.
And so, and I did surprise you with that.
Yes,
you didn't know about that. And so, what's today? Could you do that Thursday? I'm hitting you on your day off.
Yeah. I know I've got a coaching deal on it. Is it any specific time on Thursday? Or
flexible? Okay.
I just need to check that calendar to see what time I've got 2 coaching calls on that day. But other than that, I think I can probably squeeze something in somewhere on Thursday.
Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We'll work around your schedule. We can certainly be flexible as long as it's not at night, because at night is the Play to Win episode 2. We don't want to interrupt that. But I'm going to have Forrest go live in the Rank Makers Live ticket holder group and show his screen. Oh, go ahead.
4:15 Central Time.
Okay, that is
5:15.
6:15.
No, that's 5:15. That's 5:15 Eastern.
Oh, is it? Oh, Central's 1 hour. Okay, so 5:15 Eastern. Now, if you're in the group, you can always watch the replay if you can't be on live. But if you have a ticket to Rank Makers Live, you're going to watch Coach Knight, Forrest, right here, go through his screen on exactly what he does every day to message people, how he locates them, what he says to them, how he follows up. You're going to see all of that on a screen. You can follow along. You can do the same, kind of things. Obviously, prospect different people than Forrest. That wouldn't make any sense. But we're going to do that for ticket holders. And I just came up with this idea 2 seconds ago. So I think it's pretty cool. So if you have a ticket to Rank Makers Live, look in the group. We will have that on Thursday for you, 5:15 Eastern in the group. If you do not have a ticket yet, I would grab your ticket. You get over $600 worth of bonuses. The price does go up on Friday, so I would grab it if you can before Forrest's training. But that's at rankmakerslive.com. And so whether you get a ticket or not, whether you invest in the event or not, I believe you got massive value from this event. So from this live. So feel free to share. Feel free to drop us a comment. Forrest, thank you so much for sharing all this. This was amazing. I think this will really give people a lot of hope. And then if you want to dive deeper and see behind the scenes, see his actual screens, then hop on, get in to Rank Makers Live, get into the group, and we'll see you inside of there. Forrest, any last words of hope here?
Be unreasonable.
Yeah. Did you like that training yesterday I did with the coaches?
Oh my God, it was so good. I just been going down that, looking for everything I can to learn more about being unreasonable, and
Awesome.
I think it was a really great training. So absolutely.
Very, very cool. Awesome. All right. Well, there you go. Thank you, Forrest. Please give some gratitude to this amazing dude that is just crushing it, and we're so proud of. Drop him a comment, give him some love, and then those of you who have tickets, you're going to get to dive deep with them on Thursday. I appreciate you. If you don't have your ticket, rankmakerslive.com, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Thank you, Ray. Appreciate you, sir.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Awesome.